everyone, welcome to the Magic of Opal with Gemology Jen. I'm Gemology Jen. So if you've been following my opal talks, there are so many different types of opals. So how is it possible to even determine a value or choose the best one for yourself or as a gift? Let's say you have someone that has an October birthday and you want to be generous and give them a nice gift. Like, how much should you be spending and what should you choose, right? So you're in luck because today I'm going to shed some light on what you should look for and what affects the value so you get the best opal for your money and you can benefit from all of those amazing powers while enjoying the beauty of your opal, right? So I've shown you guys, or I've been wearing my opal pendant necklace, which I absolutely love. And I was working at a jewelry store at the time, and I was putting this out in the estate case, and I saw it, and my eyes like lit up. I don't know if you can see, but it has so many different rainbow colors on the front, on the back, on the side, which is everything you want to look for in an opal, and I'll explain a little bit more. So when I asked my boss if I can buy it, he's like, why do you want to buy that? I'm like, because it is the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen, and every time I wear it I'm so happy and I just love it. I love staring into the colors. I love seeing all the flashes of light, and that's really the beauty of getting an opal, of wearing an opal. Besides all of its benefits is that beauty and that happiness that it brings. So how can you choose one for yourself? So GIA not only has a grading system for diamonds, but it also has grading systems for all gemstones, including opals. So today we're going to cover those quality factors of what to look for. So according to GIA, there are 5 factors that determine an opal's value. The first one is type. So is it a white opal? Is it a common opal? Is it a fire opal, the Mexican fire opal, black opal, boulder, or a different type? So for each type you need to look at some other different factors, which we're going to go over. First is play of color. So if the opal does have play of color, like the common opal, sometimes the fire, the black, and the boulder, you need to look at the percentage of play of color compared to the overall size. So how much of that whole stone does the play of color cover? Is it throughout the whole stone, or is it just in a section? So you want to see how much of that stone that those colors take up. And you want to look at the intensity, so how bright are those colors. You want to see what the dominant colors are. Are they green? Are they blue? Are they red? So how many colors do you see? And also the pattern that the colors display. You didn't think that opals were so complicated, right? So there's a lot to look for. So the colors that you'll see span the colors of the rainbow. It can be any single color that you see in the rainbow, and this is according to how the silica spheres are stacked. So that will give you the size of the silica spheres will give you the color and intensity of what you actually see. So each opal will be different in which colors and how many colors are displayed. So if you want to know why these colors are different and the intensity of colors are different, you can read my blog, The Amazing World of Opal, which is on my website. So you can take a peek at that and understand a little bit more about that. So next we look at the pattern. So what pattern does this play of color display? And how are the colors arranged? So this can really increase the value of a stone depending on what pattern it shows. So the types of patterns are pinpoint or pin fire. So these are very small, closely set patches of color. Kind of think of little dots inside the opal. So it looks like, like little dots. all throughout your opal. The next is harlequin or mosaic. So think of like a mosaic piece of art, right? So these are broad, angular, closely set patches of color. So like little patches next to each other of different colors. Then you have flame. So it's usually a sweeping reddish band or streaks that shoot across the stone. So kind of like a painting, like somebody's painting it. Next is peacock. So this is mainly blue and green colors in your play of color. So in general, opal buyers prefer large, closely arranged patches of color like mosaic or flame over the tiny scattered dots that you see in pinfire. As with the play of color, no matter what the pattern, colors must be bright for the stone to be valuable. And traditionally, red is considered the best prominent color, the most valuable prominent color. Orange is the next most desirable, followed by green and blue. Another factor to consider and that makes it more valuable is when the opal's display of color is seen from all angles. So you want to see it from the top, the bottom, the sides. You want to see those flashes of light throughout the whole stone when it's moving. So have that nice overall play of color, nice intensity throughout. And that's really what you want to look for. You don't want to see any dead patches or areas where there's no play of color, and that lessens the value. So next is clarity. So you want to look to see if there's any matrix. So matrix is part of the host rock that may go through the stone. So not necessarily a boulder opal, but just pieces of rock that are still attached to that opal. Also, you want to look for pitting, which is little holes or pits on the surface, or crazing, which are cracks. Those are areas that have been dried up. So you don't want little crazing cracks, because then it really decreases the durability, and that again lowers the value. Next is cut. So opal cutters really want to show off its spectacular play of color, and to achieve this, they might polish fine opals into large, irregular shapes that keep as much play of color as possible. So that's the key. That's where the value is those colors and that nice play of color pattern. So designers, a lot of custom designers, they set these costly one-of-a-kind gems into custom pieces. So a custom design piece with a unique opal, you really need to expect to pay a lot more, maybe a lot more over what the value of just the opal would be, because it's more unique. They have to custom make the piece to include this abstract shape of an opal, because it's not a standard shape or cut to millimeter sizes that just you can plop into a mounting. So you're really paying for the style, the design, plus the opal. So if the opal is more commercial quality, so very low quality, they're usually polished and assembled into standard calibrated sizes, usually ovals. So they'll have a specific length and width, or a specific diameter that can fit very easily into mountings, and this usually is for birthstone jewelry, to make it affordable, to make it easy. So very rarely will you see a faceted opal, since the play of color will not show as well. Typically, you may see fire opals faceted, since there's not always play of color, and it has a really beautiful transparency and a color. That red orange color is beautiful on its own. So with fire opals, you don't necessarily need that play of color. If it does have play of color, it really increases the value, but you don't need it for it to be beautiful. Next we have carat weight. So lastly is carat weight, and the opals come in a wide range of sizes and carat weights. Opal has relatively a low density, meaning that they are lighter than other gems since they're mostly made out of water, right? Water and silica, so how much does water weigh? So an equal size of an opal versus something like, say, a sapphire. Sapphire is much heavier or denser. So even larger sizes can be very comfortable to wear because the opal won't be as heavy as something of equal size in a gemstone. So really you're looking for an opal that has some transparency, so you want to see some light going through it, unless it's like a potch opal where light's not going to go through it, or a boulder opal where the light's not going to go through it. But if you have something like a precious white opal or a black opal, you want to have some light going through it. You want beautiful, strong colors that flash from all angles, or at least most angles, so when you're moving, those flashes of colors will move and dance around too. So you want to avoid ones that have too many dead areas, so no play of color, unless of course it's a stone that has no play of color. So each opal is as unique as you are. So if you like the look of it, like me, when I saw this opal, like, I couldn't live without it because it was so beautiful, and it makes you happy, then that stone's for you. So you just want to consider the factors that I talked about to see if it's worth the value that somebody's selling it at, and judge whether that price is worth paying for. So like I was saying, many boulder opals, many black opals are cut irregular and will be in a more of a designer mounting or created just for that piece. So really the price then is at the discretion of the designer. So it could be a lot more than just the opal. So you have to judge whether you want to spend that or not. But I will give you an idea of some price ranges to look for. So I was looking up some white common opal with the play of color. So for ovals, about 7 by 5 millimeters, if it's a half a carat, commercial quality will retail for about $15. And then if it's a good quality, $40. And then if it's very good, about $150. If you move up to a 1 carat, which is a 9 by 7 millimeters, you can expect to pay about $120 for very good, and about $450 for $120 for good and $450 for very good. And then something in the 2 carat range can range from $250 for good and then $800 for very good. And like I said, if it's a beautiful red harlequin pattern, you can pay a little bit more, like $1,000 to $2,000 as well. For boulder opal, this is valued more length by width, so how big it is, more than per carat, since it may have more rock in it. You know, you don't want to pay for the rock more than the opal, right? So those can range from $50. They try and get the carat weight, so $50 per carat for lower quality, to up to $2,000 depending on those colors and the intensity of those colors. And lastly, the rare and expensive black opal, these can range from $300 per carat all the way up to $10,000 per carat if it has outstanding red colors and a beautiful pattern. So it's up to you how you want to celebrate your October birthstone, or how much you want to spend to get somebody a beautiful opal, or spend on yourself, because it's always great to treat yourself, right? So it's really worth all of the benefits though, all of the beauty, all of the happiness. So I hope you learned a lot today on what to look for, and I will see you next week. Have a great weekend. Take care.